Hello everyone, I hope you all are well and having a good day so far. So if you are new here, I am all about getting creative with henna, and guess what? I have got a whole playlist packed with henna goodness that I'll link below, so make sure you check that out. Now today I am so excited because we are diving into the Moroccan henna method inspired by some of your awesome comments and little research on my end. So henna isn't just about body art in Morocco, it's actually a huge part of their culture, wedding ceremonies, and Moroccan women have been using henna for centuries to care for and color their hair. And the best part, they have so many ideas for different herbs, liquids, and oils that they mix with their henna. Honestly, I could probably make a whole series just on this. But for today, we are starting with just a few ingredients. It has been such a treat learning about this, and I'm so excited to share this treatment with you all. So before we get started, please be sure to subscribe to my channel down below, hit that thumbs up, and with all of that said, let's jump straight into it. Alright, let's kick things off by making our liquid concoction, because the liquid you use to mix with your henna can make a huge difference in how your henna stain turns out. After researching the Moroccan method for mixing henna, I found that Sidr is a key ingredient used by almost every Moroccan woman, and I think why is because henna can sometimes loosen your curls, so Sidr is really used to enhance your curls and preserve them while adding volume. Pretty cool, right? Also, Moroccan women use a variety of different herbs to make a rich and healthy liquid for their henna. So today I am trying out a few. Here I have dried hibiscus, lavender, rose petals, cinnamon, cloves, flax seeds, fresh rosemary with the flowers, and lastly I'm also going to add a few drops of rosemary essential oil. Now I'm going to add all of my herbs to my teapot, cover them with distilled water, and we're going to bring this up to a boil and let it simmer for like 15 to 20 minutes, then turn the heat off and let it cool down while we move on to our dry ingredients. And for henna, I'm using this Moroccan brand today. I've heard is one of the best. I got it from Amazon, but if you can't get your hands on one, I just recommend use really good quality pure henna with no additives. Trust me, the brand and the quality really do matter. And as far as for other ingredients, today I'm keeping it pretty simple because adding too many ingredients to your henna can actually dilute and mess with the color, and we don't want that. So first up, we have some Moroccan red clay. This is going to help tone down the orange hue of the henna and add more of a reddish hue instead. And next we have Turkish coffee, fenugreek powder, and lastly aloe vera powder. These are all great additions for the hair and will support the henna process. Now, Moroccan women often use yogurt, egg, and oils for moisture. But if you're aiming for a really rich color, especially if you have a gray hair, I recommend you skip them because they can really mess with the henna's ability to deposit a color on your hair. Today I am leaving them out, but if you want a really rich moisturizing hair mask, you go ahead and add them. Once your tea is ready, you're going to strain it and add your essential oil. Alright, now it is time to make our paste. I'm adding the warm liquid to the henna mixture and stirring it in to create a smooth, thick paste. You want it to be spreadable but not too runny, kind of like a nice creamy consistency. And make sure not to use hot boiling liquid in your henna because that will burn off a lot of the dye and we don't want that. Alright, this looks good now. I'm going to cover it and let it sit. I've noticed that Moroccan henna has a super fast dye release, and for this specific brand, they say to let it rest for an hour. So we'll just hang tight for a bit while it works its magic. Alright, it's been 1 hour and it's time now to check on the henna base. Looking pretty good. So here's the magic. When the paste is ready, you will notice the surface gets a little darker than the base beneath it, and there might be some reddish orange liquid starting to pool on top. That's your cue. At this point, you can stir the paste and adjust its consistency if needed. And now that my henna base is ready, it is time for the fun part, the coloring session. So you can apply a layer of Vaseline or coconut oil along the hairline and around your ears to prevent staining, but it is not strictly necessary. It all depends on how particular you are about looking perfectly polished the next day. For me personally, I skip this step because I found the stains around my hairline fade quickly and really don't last more than a day or two. Now, because henna doesn't actually penetrate your hair fibers, it wraps around them. For the best results, you really need to start with clean hair. So I recommend you wash your hair with a cleansing shampoo before applying the henna, and you can go ahead and apply it to wet, damp hair. In my experience, that works just fine. But if you're like me, I prefer to apply henna to dry hair, which means I wash my hair the night before so it is all dry by the morning and it's easier for me to detangle and section it off. Just make sure if you do that to skip conditioner and any hair products. Speaking of sections, let's talk about those. I like to section my hair into small manageable chunks because applying henna can get messy and it's so much harder to comb through once the base is in. Small sections make it easier to get everything covered. I typically go for about a 1/4 inch sections and then really work that base in. I like to lift the section up and add more base to the other side to make sure both sides are fully saturated. Then I massage it in with my fingers to really get every strand covered. I switch between the brush and my hands to make sure it is thickly coated everywhere. This process takes some patience. Usually it takes me about 40 to 45 minutes to do my whole head. But honestly, I kind of enjoy it. The massaging and application feel really relaxing. But you know what I don't enjoy? Cleaning up the bathroom afterward. It's like a war zone. But hey, it gives me something to do while I'm waiting for the henna to marinate in my hair. And once I'm done applying the henna, I always use a couple of disposable plastic shower caps to keep the base nice and moist. Then I throw on an old beanie to keep my hair warm. And now we just wait. I recommend leaving it on your hair for anywhere between 3 to 4 hours if you want a full color treatment. Alright, it is rinse time. So the henna has been marinating in my hair for about 4 hours now, so it is time to wash it out. Normally I would go for a co-wash, which is just a fancy way of saying conditioner only wash. But today I am keeping it simple and skipping that step. Now after my shower, I'm going to add a little bit of oil to my hair. This tip actually came from many of you, so thank you. I believe it's an Indian hair care tradition and they swear that it helps to lock in the color and keep your hair moisturized. So I'm going to leave this in my hair overnight and then wash my hair as usual tomorrow with shampoo and conditioner. And hey, you can use whatever oil you prefer. Today I'm using my homemade henna oil, but coconut oil does the trick too. And now it's time for the big reveal, but before we do that, let's just take a quick look at what I was working with. So here are my lovely grays. Yes, they love making a grand entrance, especially right at the front where my bangs are. It's like they've claimed their VIP seats at the party, sitting in front row, while the back of my head is chilling with almost no grays inside. It's as if they're trying to steal the spotlight. Okay, now on to the exciting part, the final stain. Look at this gorgeous color. As you can see, the Moroccan method really helped to deepen the natural tones of the henna, giving me this rich, but natural brown color with reddish undertones, no orange, which is a huge win. I am obsessed with the way it turned out. It is subtle, yet there is definitely a noticeable difference. I am convinced that rich tea concoction we made was the magic ingredient. Trust me, from experience, I can tell you the liquid used can totally affect the final color. If I've ever used just plain water, the stain leans a little too orange for my taste. But when you take your time to enrich your base with a nice rich tea or juice, the final results are chef's kiss, a gorgeous and vibrant color. Trust me, it just works. Now, if this is your first time using henna, please don't be discouraged if the color doesn't come out super dark. It might even look a little reddish orange at first, but the more you use henna, the richer and the deeper the color gets. So patience is key here. Trust me, just stick with it and the results will be worth it. I've been using henna for years now, and every time I do it, I am amazed at how refreshed and how natural the color looks. Sure, it's a bit of a messy process, but it is totally worth it. Every time it's like a little adventure and I love it. But that's a wrap for today's video, guys. I hope that you all enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you did, please thumbs it up, consider subscribing, and also don't forget to leave your suggestions in the comments. I would love to try more of your amazing ideas. But that's all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.